Dr. D. Prem Anand. He has pursued his Master's, his MPhil and PhD in Physics from Loyola College, Madras University. He has been actively doing research since 2004. His area of specialization is crystal growth and its characterizations, nanomaterials and polymers which are used in solid-state batteries. He is guiding 6 more research scholars in the field of crystal growth, nanoscience and polymer science. He has published more than 75 research papers and he currently works as a professor of physics at St. Xavier's College, Palayamkotte, Tamil Nadu.
Welcome to UGC lecture series in physics for BSc Physics Honours. So far, we have been listening to a series of lectures, some essential concepts on thermodynamics. In the last lecture, we were discussing about some important phenomenon in the second law of thermodynamics, that is, what is Kelvin's statement and what is Clausius statement. Next, we moved on to the Carnot cycle and its efficiency, the refrigerator and its efficiency, and we derived an expression for the efficiency of a Carnot engine and also the efficiency of a refrigerator. Now, let us turn our attention to some principles on the second law of thermodynamics. This lecture has the following contents: Carnot theorem, thermodynamical scale of temperature, absolute zero on work scale and ideal gas scale. What is a Carnot's theorem? Therefore, the efficiency of a reversible engine is nothing but it is a mere ratio of the output by input, and this efficiency does not depend on the nature of the working substance, but whereas it depends on the temperature. Therefore, all reversible engines, whether it is a Carnot engine or whether it is a refrigerator, they have a particular set of efficiency of temperature limits. Therefore, this Carnot engine is an ideal engine. Therefore, no engine can be more efficient than a Carnot engine working between the two temperatures. And what is a Carnot theorem? To explain briefly, let us consider two engines A and B. Let us say this is engine A and this is engine B, where the temperature of this engine A is T1 and temperature of this engine B is T2. These two engines are coupled by some form or the other, and let us say that engine A is more efficient than B, and whereas the engine A works as a heat engine and B as a refrigerator, in the sense that the engine A gives out some amount of heat, whereas the engine B absorbs some amount of heat. Therefore, these two engines A and B does external work and transfers it to B. Therefore, what will happen? The heat will be rejected to the sink H2 at a temperature T2. The engine also B will absorb a heat H2 from the sink at a temperature T2, and where W is the amount of work done on the working substance. Therefore, the heat given to the source at a temperature T1 is H1, and this is a schematic diagram of a Carnot theorem, where this is engine A and this is engine B, where this is a source and sink. The source is at a temperature T1, similarly the sink T2 is at a temperature T2, and W is the work done for both the engines A and B. The work done is common. Therefore, H1 is the heat energy is given to A, where H1 dash is heat is liberated. Similarly, H2 is heat given to the sink and H2 dash is heat absorbed from the sink. Let us say that the engine A is more efficient than B. Therefore, the efficiency of the engine A is defined by the symbol eta, where eta is equal to, it is H1 minus H2 divided by H1, or in other words H1 minus H2 divided by H1 can be written as W by H1. Similarly, we can calculate what is the efficiency for the engine B, that is, it can be written as eta dash is equal to, it is H1 dash minus H2 dash divided by H1 dash, that is equal to W by H1 dash. Since, as I have already said, the efficiency of engine A is greater than B, I can write mathematically as eta is greater than eta dash, or in other words H1 dash is greater than H1. Therefore, we know that W is equal to H1 minus H2, that is equal to H1 dash minus H2 dash, where H2 dash is greater than H2. Thus, for the two engines capital A and capital B working as a coupled system, where H2 dash is the heat of the engine B or sink, and H2 is the quantity of heat taken from the sink at a temperature T2. And similarly, H1 dash minus H1 is the quantity of heat given to the source at a temperature T1. Both H2 dash minus H2 and H1 dash minus H1 are positive quantities. Therefore, what will happen? Heat will flow from a sink at a temperature to a source at a temperature, or heat will flow from a temperature at a lower temperature to a higher temperature. But no external work has been done on the system, and this is contrary to the second law of thermodynamics. Thus, the efficiency cannot be greater than the efficiency B. The two engines working between the same two temperature limits have the same efficiency. Moreover, in the case of a Carnot engine, there is no loss of heat due to friction, conduction or radiation. Therefore, we can say this Carnot engine has the maximum efficiency and it is one of the ideal engine. But in actual practice, there is an actual loss of conduction, convection and radiation, and therefore, the efficiency of all the engines are little bit lower than that of Carnot engine. Next, we will move on to the topic thermodynamic scale of temperature. The efficiency of a Carnot engine does not depend upon the property of the working substance, but whereas it solely depends on the temperature limits between the engine works. The scale of temperature based on the working of the Carnot engine is a standard scale, and it does not depend upon the particular property of any substance. Therefore, Kelvin worked out the theory of absolute scale called Kelvin scale or thermodynamical scale, and also he showed that it agrees with the perfect gas rule. Suppose an engine works between the temperatures initial temperature and final temperature. Let the initial temperature be theta 1 and final temperature be theta 2, where H1 is the heat absorbed at theta 1 and H2 is the heat rejected at a temperature theta 2. Therefore, eta is a function of two temperatures. Eta is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 2, where theta 1 is the initial temperature and theta 2 is the final temperature of the engine. But we know that the efficiency is nothing but eta is equal to H1 minus H2 divided by H1, that is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 2. Therefore, 1 minus H1 by H2, that is equal to, it is f of theta 1 comma theta 2. So, taking alone H1 by H2, we get H1 by H2 is equal to 1 divided by 1 minus f of theta 1 comma theta 2, that is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 2. Similarly, if the engine works between the temperature, say two temperatures theta 2 and theta 3, and if H2 is the heat absorbed and H3 is the heat rejected, then we can write H2 by H3 is equal to f of theta 2 comma theta 3. Similarly, if the engine works between the temperature theta 1 and theta 2 and H1 is the heat absorbed and H3 is the heat rejected, then I can write H1 divided by H3 is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 3, and H1 divided by H3 can be written as a function of H1 divided by H2 into H2 divided by H3. Therefore, what we can do is that this H2 and H2 get cancels off, H1 by H3 is same. Therefore, this left hand side equation is equal to the right hand side equation, and f of theta 1 comma theta 3 is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 2 into f of theta 2 comma theta 3. Therefore, from this we can calculate what is f of theta 1 comma theta 2, that is equal to, it is f of theta 1 comma theta 3 divided by f of theta 2 comma theta 3. So, this temperature theta 3 is arbitrarily chosen, and this relation can be satisfied if and only if f of theta 1 comma theta 2 is equal to pi of theta 1 divided by pi of theta 2, and f of theta 2 comma theta 3 is equal to pi of theta 2 divided by pi of theta 3, and similarly f of theta 1 comma theta 3 is equal to pi of theta 1 by pi of theta 3, where pi is an arbitrary function or pi is an another function. Therefore, from all this equation we can write H1 by H2 is equal to f of theta 1 comma theta 2, that is equal to pi of theta 1 divided by pi of theta 2. Therefore, the expressions on the right hand side represents the ratio of the two Kelvin temperatures, and this can be denoted by theta 1 by theta 2. Therefore, H1 by H2 is equal to theta 1 by theta 2. The relation is used to represent a new scale, and this does not depend upon the property of the working substance. Therefore, we can write the efficiency eta is equal to H1 minus H2 divided by H1, that is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by theta 1, and eta is equal to 1 minus theta 2 by theta 1. Now, let us discuss another expression, what is absolute 0 on work scale. Let us consider the engine, and any engine is working between 2 points. One point is known as a steam point, another point is known as an ice point. These 2 points can be represented graphically as this is AB is known as a steam point and DC is called ice point, where P is the pressure along the y axis and V is the volume along the x axis. And what is absolute 0 on work scale? If the distance between the isothermals, AB and CD is divided into 100 equal parts by drawing a number of parallel lines or isothermal parallel lines AB or CD, then what we can say is that any isothermal will be at a temperature 1 degree higher than the isothermal just below it. Therefore, what is the different temperature between the steam point and the ice point? It is 100 on the scale. In this way, the work scale of temperature or the Kelvin scale of temperature is fixed, and therefore, similarly isothermal below the ice point can be drawn and isothermal representing absolute 0 can be obtained. Therefore, the isothermal GK represents absolute 0. So, this isothermal GK represents absolute 0. Therefore, this line Gk, which is an isotherm, this represents absolute 0. Let us consider an engine working between the steam point and absolute 0. Absolute 0 means theta naught is equal to 0. Therefore, I can write eta is equal to 1 minus theta naught divided by theta steam, that is equal to 1. That is, the efficiency of the engine is equal to 1. Similarly, an engine working between ice point and absolute 0 will have an efficiency eta dash is equal to 1 minus theta naught by theta ice, that is equal to 1. But we know that efficiency eta is equal to H1 minus H2 divided by H1, that is equal to 1 minus H2 by H1. If I suppose 1 minus H2 by H1 is equal to 1, then I can write H2 by H1 is 1 minus 1 is 0, or H2 minus H1 is H2 divided by H1 is equal to 0, or H2 is equal to 0. It means that if the sink is at the temperature of a 0 degree absolute, no heat will be rejected and the whole of the available energy will be used up for doing any useful work, and in this case the engine will have 100% efficiency. Therefore, thus the absolute 0 temperature on the work scale is defined as the temperature at which a system undergoes a reversible isothermal process without any transfer of heat. Similarly, absolute 0 on the work scale can also be defined as that temperature of the sink at which no heat is rejected to it. According to Kelvin Planck's statement, no engine can have 100% efficiency. Thus, the absolute 0 temperature is not attainable. Now, let us move on to the next topic. What is the difference between the work scale and Idean gas scale? Let us consider a Carnot reversible cycle. In a Carnot reversible cycle, there are two isotherms. We already dealt in the last lecture, that is AB and CD. The temperature, and this is called an isotherm AB and CD. The temperature on the work scale is theta 1 and the ideal scale is T1 for isothermal AB, and the temperature on the work scale is theta 2 and the ideal gas scale is T2 for an isothermal CD. Let the pressure and the volumes for the points A, B, C and D may be P1, V1, P2, V2, P3, V3 and P4, V4 respectively. Therefore, let us consider 1 gram of an ideal gas is used as the working substance. This is a Carnot reversible cycle graphical diagram A, B, C, D. The point at A, pressure is P1, V1. Here it is P2, V2. At a point C, it is P3, V3. At a point D, it is P4, V4. And this AB is an isothermal process, BC is an adiabatic process, CD is an isothermal process and DA is an adiabatic process. And from A to B, as I already said, the process is isothermal. So, what is work done? The work done is integral V1 to V2, it is P dV, where P represents the pressure, and V represents the volume. Therefore, integrating this equation, P dV is equal to, it is PV is equal to RT. Therefore, it is RT of integral V1 to V2 dV by V. Therefore, H1 is equal to RT1 dV by V is log V. Therefore, RT1 log of V2 by V1. Here R is expressed in heat units. Similarly, from C to D, the process is isothermal and a quantity of heat is rejected by the gas. Therefore, H2 is equal to Since heat is rejected, we have a negative quantity. It is integral V3 to V4 PdV, that is equal to minus RT2 integral V3 to V4 dV by V, or H2 is equal to RT2 into log of V3 by V4. Therefore, H1 divided by H2 is equal to RT1 log of V2 by V1. This we have derived for the expression H1. For the expression H2, we have derived it is RT2 into log of V3 by V4. And also we noted that the points A and B lie on the same isothermal plane. Therefore, we can write P1 V1 is equal to P2 V2, or P2 divided by P1 is equal to V1 divided by V2. Similarly, the points C and D lie on the same isotherm. Therefore, we can write P3 V3 is equal to P4 V4, and P3 divided by P4 is equal to V4 divided by V3. Similarly, B and O lie on the same adiabatic. Since it is an adiabatic, PV power gamma is a constant. Therefore, since it is an adiabatic, PV power gamma is a constant. Therefore, we can write P2 V2 power gamma is equal to P3 V3 power gamma. Similarly, the points A and D lie on the same adiabatic. We can write P1 V1 power gamma is equal to P4 into V4 power gamma. So, dividing these two equations, P2 V2 gamma, P3 V3 gamma, and P1 V1 gamma, P4 V4 gamma, we get V1 by V2 into V2 by V1 gamma is equal to V4 by V3 divided by V3 by V4 into power gamma. Therefore, V2 by V1 the whole power gamma minus 1 is equal to V3 by V4 the whole power gamma minus 1. So, gamma minus 1 is common on the left hand side and the right hand side. This gamma minus 1, this gamma minus 1 can be cancelled, and we can write V2 by V1 is equal to V3 by V4. Substituting this value in this equation, we get H1 by H2 is equal to T1 by T2. Therefore, from the work scale of temperature, H1 by H2 is equal to theta 1 by theta 2, or theta 1 by theta 2 is equal to T1 by T2. And what are the special considerations on the work scale and ideal gas scale? If theta 1 is 0, T is also 0. It means that the two scales are similar, or the two scales are identical at absolute 0 temperature. Let us consider that the Carnot engine works between the steam point and the ice point, and there are 100 degrees between the ice point and the steam point on the two scales. So, having this concept, I can write theta steam divided by theta ice is equal to T steam divided by T ice, or adding 100 on both sides, I can write theta ice plus 100 divided by theta ice, that is equal to T ice plus 100 divided by T ice. Therefore, the special consideration is theta ice is equal to T ice. Therefore, the ice point is same as on the two scales, and similarly theta steam is equal to T steam. Hence, the two scales are completely identical. Therefore, the efficiency of the Carnot engine becomes eta is equal to 1 minus H2 by H1, that is equal to, in place of H2 by H1 we can substitute theta 1 by theta 1 or T2 by T1, that is eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Let the adiabatic expansion ratio be rho, where rho is known as the adiabatic expansion. Its value is given by rho is equal to V3 by V2. Therefore, since the points B and C lie on the same adiabatic, I can write T1 V2 power gamma minus 1, it is equal to T2 V3 gamma power minus 1. Therefore, this equation can be written as eta is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1, that is equal to 1 divided by rho the whole power gamma minus 1. So far in this lecture, we have learnt about a Carnot's theorem and how to convert a thermodynamic scale of temperature, what is absolute zero on work scale, and what is work scale and ideal gas scale. At the end of this lecture, you may be able to answer the following questions. State Carnot theorem, define efficiency of a Carnot engine, what do you mean by thermodynamic scale of temperature, define work scale and ideal gas scale. Thank you.